Hey, it's Coach Justin from Ultimate Baseball Training, and in this video, I'm going to share with you a few simple but highly effective infield tips to help you stop making errors. Let's get into it. So the first tip is smooth out your playing surface. Obviously, the rougher the field is, the higher the likelihood that you're going to get a bad hop, and that might cause you to make an error. That's not the only reason you're going to make an error, but that could, increase the likelihood if you get a bad hop, and if that bad hop is due to the playing surface. Okay, so bottom line, this is simple. This is the simplest of the tips, but I want to make sure that you're doing it, you just want to give yourself a good field to play on, right? Because there's another team that's playing on the same field. The shortstop last inning might have made a play, and his cleat marks might have made some divots. You don't want a ground ball to hit that and screw you up, right? So in between innings, your first baseman is going to be throwing you ground balls. So, field it cleanly, make a good throw. And then after you do that, no matter what position you play, just smoothing out the dirt and walk around the infield, look for anything that kind of stands out and just smoothing it out a little bit with your cleats, right? And then same thing in between pitches. So pitcher throws, the hitter, let's say he fouls it off or he swings and misses, takes, doesn't matter, right? There's no play, the ball's not put into play. Immediately after that, again, same thing, kind of just walk around your immediate area and smoothing out your surface. But the whole goal here when, trying to cut down on our errors is, we've got to, first of all, give ourselves a nice playing surface to play on. So that's step one before we move into anything else and worry about anything else. Make sure that you're smoothing out your surface. All right, so now that we've got our playing surface sorted out, then the next tip is field either the high hop or the low hop. You want to remember this, no matter what type of ground ball is hit your way, when you can control it, you want to either field the high hop or the low hop. Sometimes, unfortunately, you're going to get those in-between hops. We call them tweeners, but you want to avoid those tweeners because that is the hardest ground ball for you to field, and that's the one where you get that handcuffed feeling, right? So what do I mean by high hop or low hop? I want you to just imagine the hitter hits a ball, and obviously the ball is going to hit the ground and then bounce up, and then hit the ground and then bounce up, right? It's almost like if you imagine rainbows, right? Ball's going to hit the ground and bounce up. Now at the ball's highest point, that is considered the high hop. So it hits the ground here, and then when it reaches its highest point, that's the high hop right around there. And then the low hop is obviously right when it hits the ground and it starts its way back up again and it changes direction. That is the low hop. So you want to field one of the two. The high hops are the ones, let's say it's a two hopper hit right at you, a hard ground ball. The high hoppers are the ones where, maybe you turn over your glove like this because it's hopping way out in front of you, and you're going to field it on the high hop. That's an example of the high hop. And then the low hop, that's probably what you're going to experience more often than not, but that would be a ground ball hit your way and I go down right left footwork and I want to time it and position my body in a way to where when the ball hits the ground, I'm immediately fielding it right after it hits the ground. So it should almost sound like ba-bump, ba-bump, and the first bump is the ball hitting the ground, and then the second one is I'm making the play, right? So I have my hands out in front, the ball's going to hit somewhere right here like this, and I'm going to field it shortly thereafter, okay? So high hop or low hop, but you want to avoid those tweener hops where maybe the ball bounces there, and then all of a sudden I'm doing one of these because I'm caught in between. Sometimes it'll happen, but more times than not, you want to avoid it if you can. The way that you avoid those in-between hops is the next tip, and that is you have to control the hop with your footwork. Too many times I see a ground ball hit at an infielder and they really just wait for the ball to get to them, and then by that point, a lot of times the ball will eat them up, and I think that's a very reactive way to play defense. You've got to remember that every single time the ball bounces, the likelihood goes up that one of those bounces is going to be a bad hop, right? And we know that bad hops, a lot of the times, they're not the easiest to field, and they can cause us to have errors, right? So the more times it bounces, the higher the likelihood of that, and the more times it bounces and the more time that we take, we got to remember that base runner is running up the line. So we're going to be rushed. We might, bobble the ball because we're rushed. We might have to, make an off-balance throw or something like that, rush our throw and make a bad throw. So you want to, long story short, we want to field the high hop, and how you do that is you control the hop with your footwork. Now, again, sometimes, especially at like third base, for example, sometimes you might get down into your ready position and boom, ball's crushed, and maybe it's going to take a bad hop, and you've just got to, get low to the ground, and you've got to body it up. You got to knock it down and make a play. You got plenty of time because it was hit so hard. You have, no control of the hop because you don't have enough time to move your feet. Sometimes that's going to happen. But on a routine play, especially if you're like a middle infielder, first baseman, something like that, on a routine play, what you want to do is you want to position yourself using your feet. You want to move around to either field that low hop or that high hop. Does that make sense? So that's why you see sometimes guys get down in a ready position, and let's say it's crushed to my backhand side and it's going to bounce one time. That's why sometimes you see players take a step back and field it like this, right? Because what are they trying to do? They're taking a step back with their footwork to try to position themselves to field that high hop. But if they don't take that step back, then maybe they're fielding a tweener hop. That doesn't make sense. They're gonna, bobble that and maybe make an error. So that's why you see sometimes guys doing this. They're trying to get that high hop, right? That's why we always talk about your infield footwork. When you can control it on a routine play, it needs to be right, left, and you field the ball on that low hop, and then right, left, step through and make your throw. So I just want to encourage you, use your feet. Don't think that you get into your athletic position, whether it's right, left, whether it's a hop, pre-pitch. Don't think that when the ball's hit, you just have to sit there and wait for it. That's a great way to get really nervous when the ball's coming your way and, handcuff yourself and get a lot of bad hops. No, when you can control it, ideally, you want to move forward, move in on the baseball, charge the baseball, cut down distance. But as you're cutting down distance, you want to, motor down your feet and really get yourself in a position to field either that high hop or that low hop. So control the hop. The way that you do that is through your footwork. Let's talk about something else that's super important. How many times do you make an error and the ball gets right underneath your glove, right through the 5-hole, right? Maybe you came up on the ball. Well, why did that happen? Why did that error happen in the first place? You probably did not start with your glove on the ground. So you hear it time and time again from coaches, but it's something you consciously have to work on. Otherwise, you can start to get lazy, right? Because it's a little bit more work. It's easy for me to, be up here like this. I'm barely in an athletic position. There's no strain on my body. But when I actually have to get down here, get low to the ground and get into my legs, I can only stay down in that position for so long. And so it's easy to go the lazy way, and it's something that you have to consciously work on in practice of get your body low to the ground, get into your legs, and start with your glove on the ground. So what I mean by that, ground ball is hit my way, I go right, left. I'm presenting my glove early. I'm not flipping it down at the last second. Right, left, presenting my glove early, and I'm starting with it on the ground like this. Not up here, not a foot above the ground, not 6 inches above the ground, on the ground. And the reason why we do that is because it's the way the human body works. You react much quicker when you start from the ground and then you work up like this. So if I start from the ground, sometimes the ball might stay on the ground in a perfectly manicured field, but sometimes it might take a hop, right? And so we're gonna field that low hop. So I'm not gonna end with my glove on the ground. I might have to bring it up a few inches like this, but it's so much easier to bring it up this way than start up top and stab down at it. I think it's the way the body works in terms of, let's say you're just at the ballpark and somebody else heads up, and it's so much easier for you to, you're walking around like this, to collapse in this way and protect. That's what our bodies are trying to do, protection mode. So much easier to protect your body and come in this way than it is to go maybe out this way. Same sort of concept when fielding a ground ball. It's easier to start from down here, and then we're quicker this way because we have to protect ourselves as opposed to trying to stab down at it. Start from the ground, work up. And the last tip that's really going to help you avoid errors, this one might surprise you a little bit because you're always taught to get in front of the ball, right? Get in front of the ball, get in front of it. And I'm here to tell you that you don't have to always get in front of a ground ball. Now, let me explain what I mean and how this is going to help you. The majority of the time, you should get in front of the ground ball, especially if it's a routine play. And if you have the time to do it, get in front of the ground ball. Field it ever so slightly on your glove hand side, and ideally you work a little bit around the baseball, and then you go right, left, you field it slightly on your glove hand side, and we do that so our momentum is going towards our target, right? So that's on a routine play. But sometimes a ball is going to be hit to your forehand side, or sometimes it's going to be hit to your backhand side. And I see sometimes, let's say it's hit to my forehand side, players might run over, and what they really should do is they can't get in front of it. They don't have enough time to get in front of it. So what they should do is they should just forehand the baseball. But instead, they might try to, get in front of it, and then they look awkward because it's a ball that should be fielded forehand, but they're trying to, somehow get their body in front of it. That's a great way to make errors. And so what you want to avoid is a ground ball hit right at you. Sometimes you see this with the younger guys, and just because they've been working on it in practice, right? Maybe a ball's hit right at them and they want a backhand. No, that's not what I'm talking about here. If the ball's hit right at you, you have to field it, get in front of the ball and field it slightly on your glove hand side. But if it's a ball that should be fielded with a forehand or if it should be backhanded, don't be afraid to do that. That's the reason why we work on it in practice. And the same thing applies, right? Let's say it's a ball hit to my backhand side. I'm not gonna be able to get in front of the ground ball. Whether you do it this way or whether you have to do a crossover, same things apply. But you don't have to get in front of every ground ball. Do it as often as possible. But a ground ball that should be forehanded or should be backhanded, do it. So that's it. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you liked it, please leave it a like. I'd really appreciate that. And subscribe to the channel. That way you never miss any of our upcoming videos we're coming out with. And last thing, I put together an awesome free resource for you. I really think it's gonna help you take your hitting to the next level. It's called the Contact Point Checklist, and you can download it 100% for free. Just click on the link down below in the description. I'll also leave that link for you in the comment section so it's easy to find. But it's called the Contact Point Checklist. I freeze framed the swing at the point of contact, and I've highlighted the key areas that you need to focus on. You need to make sure at the point of contact that your swing includes these things. It'll help you get more hits, increase your batting average, increase your bat speed, hit the ball harder and further, all that good stuff. So I really think it's gonna help you, and it's free. So go ahead and download that right now. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.